This is Book 5 of Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, a quiet battle between the soul and the comfort of sleep. Here, the emperor reminds himself that he was not born for luxury, but for work, for duty, for reason. He challenges fatigue, fear, and distraction. He reflects on the shortness of life, the emptiness of fame, and the peace that comes from living in accordance with nature. Each entry is a call to rise, to act, and to live as a true man should, not tomorrow, but now. Presented by Rust Books, guiding you through the thoughts of an emperor, one verse at a time. Verse 1. In the morning, when you find yourself unwilling to rise, ask yourself at once, is it not to go about a man's work that I am roused from sleep? What? Am I still reluctant to rise for what I was born to do? Was I brought into this world just to lie under warm blankets? Dreamer's voice, half asleep, resisting. But it feels so good. And was it for this, for mere pleasure, that you were born? Or rather, were you not born to act, to engage, to fulfill your duty as a man? Look around you. The trees, the plants, the sparrows, the ants, the spiders, the bees, all go diligently about their tasks, each performing its part in the preservation of the universe. And will you not do the work that your nature requires? But I must have my rest. Yes, rest is part of nature too, as are eating and drinking. But nature assigns a limit to rest. You exceed your limit. You take more rest than is needed and give less to action than you are capable of. Do you not love yourself? If you did, you would love your nature and its true purpose. See how others, those who take pleasure in their trades, they throw themselves fully into their work. They'll skip food and sleep, forget their bodies altogether. Does a dancer honor his art more than you honor your humanity? Does a silver hoarder love his coins more than you love your purpose? Does a glory seeker give more for applause than you do for justice? Shall your duty to the common good of mankind be worth less to you than wealth or vanity or craft is to others? Verse 2. How easy it is for a man to cast away all turbulent foreign thoughts, those stormy intrusions of the mind, and in that very moment to fall into perfect rest. To return to tranquility, to stillness, requires no journey, no effort of the body, no permission from the world. All it takes is your will to let go. Verse 3. Think yourself worthy, fit to speak, fit to act, whenever what you speak or do is in accordance with nature. Let no fear of reproach, no rumor or judgment ever hold you back. If it is right, if it is just, then do not dishonor yourself by shrinking from it. Others may follow their own minds, their own paths and inclinations, but that is not your concern. Your only task is to follow where nature leads you, and the path of your nature and the nature of the whole is one and the same. Verse 4. I continue my course, acting in accord with nature, until I fall, until I release my final breath into the same air that once gave me life. I fall upon the earth, the same earth from which my father's seed was drawn, my mother's blood, my nurse's milk. For years it has given me food and drink, held me up as I walked, and borne the burden of my life, both in my care and in my waste. And still, it bears me. Verse 5. So what if no one admires your sharp tongue, your clever words? That's not your strength. Maybe it never was. But there are so many virtues that don't depend on natural talent, and those are entirely within your reach. Sincerity, dignity, hard work, a quiet indifference to pleasure, not complaining, being content with little, kindness, generosity, restraint in speech, and a courageous heart. Don't you see? None of these require brilliance or wit. They only require will. Why do you still cling to weakness? Why do you bend to complaints, to vanity, to restless thoughts? You weren't born for flattery, not for excuses, not for blaming your nature. The gods know you could have let go of all this long ago. Yes, maybe you're slow, maybe not gifted, but carry it with grace. Own your quiet discipline, and never take pride in your limitations. Verse 6. Some people, when they do a good deed, immediately expect something in return. They keep score. Others don't ask for repayment, but still remember what they gave. They carry it quietly, like a secret debt. And then there are those rare few who forget entirely what they've done. They're like the vine that bears fruit in its season, never asking praise for doing what it was made to do. The horse runs his race. The hound follows the scent. The bee makes her honey, and none of them ask for applause. So too, the wise man, he does good because it is in his nature, and then he moves on, ready to do more. But wait, some might say, isn't it natural to want people to know you've done good? Isn't it part of being social? Yes, but that's not what it means to truly act with virtue. Wanting to be noticed, to be appreciated, that is still a kind of transaction. The highest virtue asks for nothing. Act simply, act well, and let your nature, like the vine, bear fruit quietly, season after season. Verse 7. The Athenians had a prayer. It went like this: O rain, rain, good Jupiter, upon all the fields and farmlands of the Athenians. That's how it should be. Not selfishly, not begging for my plot alone, but asking for all. Either don't pray at all, or pray like this, freely, for everyone. Verse 8. We say the doctor prescribed riding, cold baths, barefoot walking, each treatment tailored for the body's healing. So too, the universe prescribes. To one, sickness. To another, poverty. To you, perhaps, loss. Not as punishment, but as a cure. Ordained for you as part of the harmony of the whole. Stones in a wall fall together by design. So too do the events of your life fit into a greater structure, perfect in its unseen order. You accept the bitter medicine from a physician, trusting it leads to health. Then do the same with what life gives. This pain, this path, was written into your thread from the first cause. It belongs to you, and it belongs to the universe. Without it, the whole would be less. Jove's harmony would be broken. You were never left behind. You were essential. So do not cut yourself off by resisting your fate. To resist it is to tear the tapestry. To tear it is to unmake yourself. Verse 9. Do not be disheartened. Do not fall into despair if you fail, again and again, to live by your principles precisely, perfectly. If you fall, return. Return to the path, to the dogma, to the life you know is right. Yes, you will be distracted. Yes, you will be tired. You are human, but do not let that estrange you from the one life you love, the philosopher's life. And when you return to philosophy, do not return as a guilty child to his tutor, but as a man with sore eyes returns to his salve, as the sick return to their healing balm. Philosophy is not punishment, it is relief. It does not demand more than nature itself requires. And would you choose anything against your nature? You think pleasure is natural, but is it not freedom more natural? Simplicity, clarity of soul, equanimity and truth. These, not indulgence, are the joys of a rational being. And prudence, what can be more kind, more intimate, than to move steadily through the world without stumbling? As for the world itself, it is murky. Even the wisest cannot grasp it fully. Even the Stoics admit, with all their training, how difficult it is to truly know what is. Everything we see is fleeting, possessed by fools, by tyrants, by those who trade virtue for appetite. And the people we love, even they are hard to bear. Even we are hard to bear. So what then shall we pursue? What deserves our reverence? What endures? What can we trust in a world of shifting matter and passing time? Reflect carefully and return. Always return. Verse 10. Comfort yourself in the quiet expectation of your own natural end. Do not grieve that it delays. Do not anxiously await it. Rest instead in the peace of two truths. First, nothing shall happen to you that is not in harmony with the nature of the universe. And second, it is always within your power to remain true to your inner God, your own guiding spirit. No man can force you to act against him. No one can make you betray your soul. Hold to that, and you will remain free. Verse 11. What is the use I make of my soul right now? This question you must ask yourself often, in every moment, at every turning of the day. What is my ruling part doing? To what is it applied? Whose soul am I living with right now? A child's, chasing whims? A youth's, restless and impulsive? A woman's, driven by unexamined emotion? A tyrant's, demanding, prideful? Or is it the soul of a brute, of some wild, untamed beast? Ask it honestly, and from the answer, return to yourself. Verse 12. What are those things that people so often call good? Let's see what that really means. When we speak of true goods, prudence, temperance, justice, fortitude, even a little mention fills the soul. It is enough. We ask for nothing more, because goodness ends in itself. But when wealth is called good, or pleasure, or status, do we stop there? No. We lean in. We expect more, because deep down, we know that's not the real good. Even the crowd laughs at this, like in the comedies when the wealthy are mocked, that for all their riches, they have not a single place to relieve themselves. So complete is their abundance, so empty is their comfort. Doesn't that say something? That the things which stir laughter on stage, wealth, luxury, honor, are not the goods we should truly esteem. Proceed further. Search your heart. Let the truly good things be those the soul rejoices in and needs nothing more. Verse 13. What am I made of? Only two things, form and matter. And neither of these can be destroyed, not truly. I was not born from nothing, and nothing I am cannot return to. Each part of me will change. It will move, shift, become something else. This body of mine will one day be part of the world again. First one corner, then another. And so it will go, onward, without end. Through this chain of change, I came into being. So did my parents, and theirs before them, and all who came before. Yes, the world has its own bounds, its own rhythms, but within it, change is infinite. Verse 14, reason, the rational soul, needs no outside praise. It lives in harmony with itself, moves by its own power, and seeks only what lies directly before it, the action that is right, possible, and present. Its goal is never far ahead. It walks a straight path toward whatever good is here, now. This is why such actions are called katorthoses, right acts, because the way to them is direct. So, remember this. Whatever doesn't belong to you as a human being does not belong to you at all. Not outcomes, not fortune, not applause. These are not part of human nature.
A man's worth does not depend on whether his plans succeed. And those things the world calls goods, if they truly belong to us, then why would we admire those who live well without them? Why praise the one who lets go of luxury, who walks away from fame, who loses all and is still whole? It is because virtue, not fortune, is the true good. Verse 15. Your thoughts shape your soul. The images you let in, the ideas you dwell on, these leave their color. They dye the mind like cloth dipped in pigment. So steep your soul in thoughts that uplift. Remind yourself, wherever I am, I can live well. Yes, even at court, even under pressure, even in solitude. To live well is always within your power. And what is man made for? To live among others, to serve, to join, to act for the good of all. That is his nature, and so his end. And where his end lies, there lies his good. Society, then, cooperation, is the true good of a rational soul. Now, can anyone doubt it? Is not the lesser made for the greater? Is not the soulless made for the soulful? And among souls, are not the rational above the rest? Then let your thoughts be worthy of your highest nature, and your soul will become what it was meant to be. Verse 16. To crave the impossible is madness. And yet, what is more impossible than a wicked man never doing wrong? Nature follows its course. What happens to you is what happens to others. It is natural. Now ask yourself, if a man can endure suffering simply because he's unaware of it, or another can bear it proudly just to win praise, shall ignorance and vanity be stronger than wisdom? No. The events themselves, they do not touch your soul. They cannot pierce it. They hold no power over it. Only your soul can move itself. It chooses what to feel. It decides how to interpret what comes. The key lies in your judgment. What you believe about the world, that is what gives it weight. Verse 17. Man, among all things in nature, stands closest to us. We are bound to help one another, to forgive one another. Yet when someone hinders me, when a man stands in the way of what I must do, he becomes no more than sun or wind or wild beast, uncontrollable, indifferent, Such a person may obstruct my actions, but never my resolve. My mind remains untouched. It holds its power. For the soul, trained in reason, is always prepared to turn what cannot be done into what can. And here lies its genius. What was once an obstacle becomes the path. What hindered the journey becomes the very means of forward motion. Verse 18. Honor the highest power in the universe, that guiding reason which governs all things and uses all for its purpose. And within yourself, revere that same highest part, for the reason in you is of the same kind, a fragment of that universal mind. It governs your life. It makes use of all else. It decides what everything shall mean. To honor it is to be in harmony with the whole. Verse 19. If the city is not harmed, then no citizen is truly harmed. So whenever you feel wronged, ask yourself, has the whole been injured? If not, why should you make it a personal wound? Instead, reflect on where he who wronged you has gone astray, and consider how swiftly all things pass. People, possessions, passions, praise, all swept away like leaves in a river. Substances change, actions shift, causes dissolve, nothing stays. Think on the infinity of time before you were born, and the endless expanse that will follow your death. Why let what is so brief consume so much of your soul? Someone wronged you, let him account for that. His soul is his own. As for me, I have what nature gives, and I do what my own nature demands. Verse 20. Let not the ruling part of your soul, that inner commander, be swayed by the body's pleasure or pain. Let it stand apart, unmixed, untouched. Assign the sensations to their proper place, the flesh. Yes, in this tightly bound frame of body and soul, the pain may echo, the pleasure may ring out. But do not resist sensation itself, for it is nature. Instead, resist the lie it whispers, that pleasure is good or pain evil. Feel it if it must be felt, but add no judgment, no label, and you shall remain untouched. Verse 21. To live with the gods. He truly lives with them, who shows them a soul at peace, grateful for all that fate assigns, and faithful in all that duty demands. A soul that accepts its share without complaint, and does its part, in harmony with that inner spirit which Zeus himself has given to every man, as his guide, his guardian, his divine overseer. To honor that spirit is to live divinely. Verse 22. Be not angry with the man whose breath offends you, nor with the one whose armpits reek. What can they do? Such is their body, and such things naturally follow from it. You might say, but he has reason. He should know he stinks. And you, friend, you have reason too. So use yours to awaken his. If you gently show him his fault, if he listens, you've helped him, and your anger has no more purpose. Verse 23. They say, where there shall be no brawlers nor harlots. Why wait for that place? Live now, as you would live there, even here, among noise and vice. If they will not let you live as reason dictates, then you may leave life itself, but not with bitterness, not as one wronged, only as one saying, there is smoke, I will step outside. Until then, remain free. No one can stop you from living by your nature, and that nature is rational, is social, is just. Verse 24, that rational force, the very essence by which the universe is governed, is designed for community, for harmony, for society. Look closely. It has shaped what is lesser for the service of what is greater, and the greatest it has bound together in unity. See how it arranges all things, each part placed with care, each role distributed according to worth, and those few things which are highest it has joined in a single concord, a perfect agreement, as though tuned by the hand of reason itself. Verse 25, how have you lived? Toward the gods? Toward your parents, your brothers, your wife, your children, toward your teachers, your mentors, your friends, those who serve you, those who depend on you. Have you harmed them? By word or by deed? Recall how much you've endured, how many hardships you have already passed through, how many duties you've fulfilled. Think, how many true goods you've come to understand, how many pleasures you have set aside, how many sorrows you've endured with calm, how many honors eternally praised you have chosen to let go, and how often, with reason and grace, you've met the unreasonable. Verse 26, why should the foolish and unlearned disturb the soul that is wise, the soul that sees clearly from beginning to end, the one that understands the rational essence flowing through all things, unchanged across all ages? That soul knows all things are governed in time. All things are woven by one reason, dispersed and ordered with purpose. Let the ignorant be restless, but let the wise remain untroubled. Verse 27, soon enough you will be ashes, or bones, or perhaps not even a name. And what is a name but a hollow sound, an echo fading into nothing? All the things we cherish, the honors we chase, the pleasures we cling to, are they not petty, putrid, children biting one another, puppies yapping and tugging, so serious, so absurd? Faith, modesty, justice, truth, they've long fled the earth, ascended to somewhere more fitting. Why stay then? If senses deceive, if bodies rot, if fame is a fool's dream, stay for this: to praise the gods, to do good for others, to endure them patiently, and never do them harm. As for the rest, your body, your breath, your life, they are not yours. They were never yours. Verse 28, you will never be too late so long as you choose the right path. In both your judgments and your actions, follow order, follow reason. There are two things shared by all rational souls, whether human or divine. First, that nothing can stop them from doing what is their true work. Second, that fulfillment lies in virtue itself, not beyond it, not after it, but in the doing of what is just, what is right. And so, let your desire rest here, in righteousness, in right action, nowhere else. Verse 29, if this deed is not wicked, and I have done no wrong, then why should it trouble me? If the public is not truly harmed, why carry the burden of another's illusion? Do not be swayed by popular outcry, by the noise of the crowd. Help others, yes, when it is within your power, and when your aid concerns real needs. But do not mistake the clamor over worldly losses for true injury. As the old man in the play asked for his foster child's toy, a rattle, so too we must remember. This is all it is. These court disputes, these loud demands, what are they really? Have you forgotten what they are? Yes, once I too was fooled by them. But let that be enough. I was a fool, no longer. Verse 30. Let death surprise me, when it will, and where it will. Still, I may be el moiros, a happy man. For who is happy? He who has chosen well his portion in life. And what is that portion? Right inclinations, right desires, right actions. This is the happy man.